Joining us now, Pennsylvania's Democratic Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis. He is the co-chair of Black Pennsylvanians for Harris-Walz. Thank you for being with us today. You know, the latest battleground polls show Trump and Harris essentially in a dead heat in your state. The Harris campaign has spent $134 million just in ads in Pennsylvania. That includes spending from when President Biden was the nominee. The Trump campaign has spent $56 million. It all boils down to what in these final hours?
Look, I think it all boils down to who shows up to vote. And I feel really confident that Kamala Harris has been owning the ground. For example, just this past weekend, her team has knocked over 1 million doors here in Pennsylvania to help get folks out to vote, to make sure that they have a plan to vote, to return their mail-in ballots. And so I feel really good about the position we're in. She's going to be in the state later today doing a number of closing rallies. I'm going to be with her in Pittsburgh. But I think she's not leaving anything on the table, and she's working to earn every single vote as we close out this election.
Lieutenant Governor, we've already seen the former president cast doubt into the integrity of this election, and specifically in your state. How do you ensure voters that their votes will be counted and respected?
You know, look, I want to be clear. We have always had free and fair elections here in Pennsylvania. We had a free and fair election in 2016 when Donald Trump won. We had a free and fair election in 2020 when he lost. And we're going to have a free and fair election here in 2024. You know, he's really laying out a lot of bullshit, quite frankly. And if you look, says if he doesn't win, the election must have been cheated or something was unfair. The reality is every person is going to have an opportunity to cast their vote, have their voice heard in this election, and it's going to be respected here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
When do you think we can expect results from your state?
You know, look, I think we've made a number of changes to speed up the result. We know when county boards of elections start counting ballots, they can't stop. They have to continue to count through. But I think it's more important that we get an accurate result of the will of the people and the electorate here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So I'd encourage folks to be patient. It's not necessarily, I think, important that we get it fast. I think it's important that we get the result right and reflective of how voters have cast their ballots here in the Commonwealth. So I don't think it will drag on for weeks or anything like that, but I would encourage folks to remain patient as the process plays out.
And just to set expectations for our viewers so that, you know, whatever anybody says on one campaign or another, in particular Trump, who's tried to already say there's been cheating, like, are we talking hours, like Wednesday, you think you'll have most of the votes counted? Obviously, if it gets down to just tens of thousands of votes like we've seen in the years past, it's going to take longer because you have to wait for all those provisional ballots to come in as well. But realistically, what's the timeline here?
Yeah, look, I would say people are going to be able to have a really good idea about how this election is going to turn out probably by Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. But again, it's important that every ballot is counted, that every voice is heard in this election. So I'd encourage folks to be patient. I don't think it's going to take as long as it did in 2020. We know most people are going to show up and vote in person. That will help the count go a lot faster. In 2020, we were coming out of a pandemic, and so more people voted by mail. We've made significant upgrades to county election board systems here in Pennsylvania to be able to open those ballots and process them quicker. And I'd also like to note we have an extreme professional in Al Schmidt, our Secretary of the Commonwealth, running the election from the state level. And so I'm confident that this is going to get done in a professional manner, and it's going to get done in a way that's reflective of the votes that are cast here in Pennsylvania, and one in which builds confidence in our electoral system here in the Commonwealth.
And I just want to kind of wrap up with your thoughts on the impact and importance of the Latino community and the Latino voter. Just in Berks County, there are more than 48,000 Puerto Rican residents across the state. About 300,000 eligible voters are of Puerto Rican descent. What's your message to them? You know, my message to them is I'm damn proud to be the lieutenant governor
of a diverse state, and I'm proud to serve them every day that I'm in office. And I hope they'll consider which candidate is going to be best for them and their families. I think Kamala Harris has been hitting a unifying message of bringing people together, viewing our diversity as a strength, and how she's going to create opportunities to make sure each and every one of us has an opportunity to succeed, regardless of what you look like, where you come from, or who you pray to. Donald Trump has consistently been a divisive figure in our politics. He continues to peddle in the politics of fear, hatred, and division. And that was purely on display at his Madison Square Garden rally. And I think it's time for us to turn the page. And it's time for us to move forward in recognizing that everyone has value in America and everyone contributes to the greatness of our nation.